You are no longer safe in America. Your government is not protecting you. The police cannot protect you. In short, you're on your own. There's Oxford, Michigan, with Ethan Crumbley, who shot and killed 4 students and injured 7 others, including a teacher. For no reason, because liberal school personnel should have known Crumbley had a gun, or at least had access to one, but never bothered to ask. The very reason they told his parents to come to class instead of suspending him immediately, and then they let him go right back into class.
Fox's Jeanine Pirro has some pretty twisted thoughts about last week's tragic shooting in Michigan, lambasting Soros-funded DAs, liberal laws passed by progressive Democrats, and other leftist forces she believes are, quote, endangering the rest of us with a lack of strength and trust in law enforcement. On the other hand, Inside Edition also mistakenly attributed a famous quote by scientist J. Robert Oppenheimer, nuclear physicist and father of the atomic bomb, to a video game called Fallout 4 in an attempt to claim that video games inspired the boys' rampage. As we know, the tragic shooting in Michigan last week happened when Ethan Crumbley, a student, brought a gun to school that his parents had recently given him after buying it on Black Friday. The DA released information that Jennifer and her husband James had not stored it properly upon bringing it home, which is how it was so easy for their son to take it to school. A teacher found a violent drawing Ethan had made and reported it to superiors, who quickly brought the parents in for a conversation. No mention apparently was made of their son having a gun, but Pirro is of the opinion that the school officials should have taken greater action against Crumbley before the massacre, i.e. in the meeting with his parents. But she conveniently forgets to mention that the school did. They wanted to send Ethan home, but his parents were the one who resisted. Now, it's time to kind of zoom out and reckon with the fact that everything going on with parents targeting educators right now, from harsh anti-masking and COVID restriction protests to the critical race theory witch hunt, we know things between parents and teachers in this country are at a boiling point. And this case is clear who wanted to take steps to ensure safety: the school. In the face of parental criticism that we know is sweeping the nation with vicious force and power, the school caved to the parents' wishes. Pirro also fails to mention that if we had these so-called, quote, liberal laws that she lambasts, they would probably have passed common sense gun control measures, things like necessary licenses, storage requirements, and waiting periods. It's safe to say the events in Michigan would have turned out very differently had we had those liberal laws. But of course, Pirro wants to blame it on the left for not advocating for stronger law enforcement. Not only that, but she lambasted Soros-backed DAs, which totally misses the biggest part of this story, is that the parents of Ethan Crumbley have been charged with 4 counts each of involuntary manslaughter, which is highly unusual, as is charging their son with terrorism. There's a much-needed reckoning going on here, and it doesn't have to do with liberals and prosecutors and video games. It has to do with common sense gun legislation and actually listening to educators when they feel a student is posing a risk. The tension between parents and educators has now boiled over into tragedy, and it's time people like Jeanine Pirro start pinning responsibility on those who are actually culpable. Thanks so much for watching. You can follow me on all platforms at Caro Johnson 917.